What's up YouTube, it's your boy Nash here. Welcome back to the channel. Now before we get started with today's video, just want to give you guys a reminder that we are now 210 subs away from hitting 500 subs. And if you guys are new to the channel, and I know that a lot of you guys are, because practically 100% of you guys are watching the content, but you guys are not even subscribed. So if you guys are watching the content, you like the content, and you want more of the content, but you guys have not subscribed as of yet, then make sure you guys do indeed subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, smash that thumbs up button on this video, and as always, make sure you guys are following me on all my social media. All my ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And also guys, if you guys missed out on yesterday's video, I recommend you guys check it out, because that is literally my longest video ever, and I would consider that video to have been one of my best. So if you guys have not done so already, when you're done watching this video, go back and watch yesterday's video, because yesterday's video was a crazy one, especially talking about especially bringing up some key valid points on Vince McMahon and the things that he had done in WWE. So be sure to check out that video and post in the comments as well your thoughts on that video, on what you thought about the docuseries, and try and start up a few rants. I'm very curious. I actually want to see you guys rant a little bit in the comments. And speaking of comments, post in the comments below on this video answering the question of the day, which is this: what kind of archetype would you guys like to see Konami release in the future? Let me know down in the comments below. And speaking of new archetypes, today's video, we actually have a brand new archetype that will be released in Alliance Insight, and I believe this is the second to last batch of cards that will be released in the set. Tomorrow's video, I will be revealing the last of the new cards that will be in Alliance Insight before we get into the TCG release. So the name of the new archetype is called Regenesis, and it's basically it's an archetype that relies heavily on sending cards to the graveyard, and also special summoning, which a lot of the current decks rely on that, which is kind of insane. And I believe they are all level 8s. They are all level 8 to level 10 monsters. They're like pretty high level, if you will. So they're kind of similar to the Mech Knight archetype, where you can special summon cards to your board in a column that is adjacent or straight from other cards that your opponent has on the field. It's a bit similar to that archetype, but it's a bit different, I will say. But I'm not going to waste any time. I'm just going to get straight into it. I believe there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 8 cards to talk about in this video. So let's get straight into it. Kicking things off, we've got Regenesis Warrior Bereshit. I'm probably butchering the name, so I do apologize, but there's that. There's the warrior. And it is a 7-star fire warrior with 2500 attack and defense. And all three of its effects are once per turn. And the first effect reads if a monster with 2500 original attack or defense is on the field, you can special summon this card from your hand. Second effect reads as a quick effect, you contribute this card, target a monster your opponent controls, return it to the hand. Third effect reads, reads, during your opponent's end phase, if this card is in your grave because it was sent there this turn, you can add it to your hand. So this is basically a Cyber Dragon with a compulse. With a compulse and a way to just add it back to your hand from your grave. So hypothetically speaking, if this deck is going up against a Blue Eyes deck or a Dark Magician deck, and there is a Blue Eyes White Dragon on the board or a Dark Magician on the board, you can basically Cyber Dragon this card right off the bat, and then target their Blue Eyes or their Dark Magician and bounce it back to the hands, which is pretty cool. The only downside is that you have to ensure that your opponent's Eternal Soul or True Light is not active. So in that scenario, cards like Imperm is the best card to actually combat against a deck like Dark Magician or Blue Eyes, because if True Light or Eternal Soul is in the same column as Imperm, their card gets negated, and you can right off the bat bounce that Dark Magician or Blue Eyes back to your opponent's hands, and they can't do jack shit, which is pretty cool. And because that it was sent there during that turn, you basically get to add it back to your hand and continue that cycle over and over again, which is pretty cool. Next up, we've got Regenesis Sage Shemot, which is a 7-star water spellcaster with 2,500 attack and defense, and all 3 of its effects are once per turn. I believe the first and third effects of all of those cards, of all the monsters, are the exact same except for one. Okay, so first one was Warrior Bereshit. Second one was Sage Shemot. Third one is known as Regenesis Dragon Valkyria. Vikera, I believe. So I'm gonna show off Sage Shemot's second effect, which reads: when your opponent activates a card or effect as a quick effect, you can send one other Regenesis card from your hand or face-up field to the grave, negate the activation, and destroy that card. So as I said, the first three monsters, right? Warrior Bereshit, Sage Shemot, and this other one that I'm going to talk about, that I'm going to show off right now, known as Regenesis Dragon Vikera. Excuse me. Which is an 8-star wind dragon with 2,500 attack and defense. All 3 monsters, their first and third effects are the exact same, but the second effect is different. So Warrior Bereshit basically has a compulse. Sage has a sort of like a weird like mini solemn judgment, if you will. And I'm gonna read off Dragon's second effect, which is a quick effect that reads: you contribute this card, target a spell or trap your opponent controls, banish it. Basically, it's a cosmic cyclone. So to recap, once again, Warrior's second effect is a compulse. Sage's second effect is a solemn judgment, and then Dragon's second effect is basically a cosmic cyclone, which is absolutely insane. So if all 3 were on the board, you basically have yourself a pretty decent way to bounce cards to the opponent's hand, negate any card that your opponent may have on board, and also randomly banish a back row that your opponent may have, which could even also be their field spell as well, which is also pretty cool. Next up we have Regenesis, Archfiend, Bemid, Bemidbar, I believe. And if I'm not mistaken, okay, never mind. Never mind. So the other two monsters have different effects compared to the other three. So here's the Archfiend, which I don't know why it's an Earth. It should be a Dark. I'm just saying. But it's an 8-star Earth Fiend with 2,500 attack and defense, and all three of its effects are once per turn. The first effect reads, you can special summon this card from your hand. Oh, okay, so this one has the same. Yeah, okay. So this one's first and third effects are also the same. The second effect, though, is different because the second effect reads, if this card is normal or special summon, you can add one Regenesis card from your deck or banishment to your hand, except this card. So let's recap one more time. Warrior has a compulse effect. Sage has a solemn judgment effect. Dragon has a cosmic cyclone effect, and then Archfiend has basically has a sort of a Rhoda like effect, which is pretty damn cool. I have to admit, these cards are actually kind of sick. I mean, their artworks are amazing. They kind of look like something out of oh my god, what's that one anime that I need to watch again? Arifureta, I believe it's the name. From common realm to world's strongest, I think is the full name. So honestly, that's kind of sick. The cards are actually kind of sick. Now for the last new monster, it is known as Regenesis God. Deuteronomion. I am like butchering the names like it's nothing. But that's the card. And it is a 10-star light illusion with 2,500 attack and defense. And it says that it cannot be normal summon or set, and then it must be special summon from your hand by banishing a face-up monster you control with 2,500 original attack and defense. You can only special summon this card once per turn this way. And it has 3 different effects. The first one reads, if this card is special summon, you can set one Regenesis spell or trap from your deck. Second effect reads, gains 2,500 attack during the battle phase only. Third effect reads, if this card attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing. So this is essentially the boss monster for the whole deck. I mean, being able to deal a shit ton of damage when your opponent's monsters are in defense, and giving this card double the attack is absolutely incredible. I will say though, I think in order to bring out the other monsters, there has to be some card that can help you summon them out really easily. And I know that they say that if there's a monster on the field with 2,500 attack or defense, original attack and defense, yes, but other than that, like, if you're going first, there needs to be a card that can help you summon out these cards right off the bat, which I honestly don't know if there is. Maybe these 3 spell or traps might work. So Let's take a look. So the first spell is called Regenesis. And it is a normal spell, and both of its effects are once per turn. The first effect reads: take one Regenesis monster from your deck and either add it to your hand or send it to the grave. Or if you control a Regenesis monster, you can add a monster with 2500 attack and defense from your deck to your hand instead. Second effect reads: if this card is in your grave, except the turn it was sent there, you can banish it and target one Regenesis monster in your grave, special summon it. So this is basically Rhoda. This is basically Rhoda Reborn. Literally, it is Rhoda Reborn. You get to add a card to your hand, and if you have a Regenesis monster in your grave, you get to special summon it right off the bat, except the turn it was sent there. Which, yes, you do have to wait a full turn cycle to use the second effect, but if you're able to make your board to where your opponent really can't do a whole lot, especially if you use card, especially if you use floodgates and whatnot, that's actually not a bad ordeal in my honest opinion. Next up we have Torah Regenesis. And it is a quick play spell, with both of its effects also being a once per turn. The first effect reads: you cannot special summon from the extract for the rest of the turn. After this effect resolves, also special summon one Regenesis monster from your deck, but send it to the grave during your opponent's end phase. So here's the crazy thing, right? Just off of that first effect, this is exactly what I was talking about. You need to somehow be able to keep your board intact and be able to overpower your opponent. And this card really doesn't do the trick, because especially during the opponent's end phase, yes, your board does get popped, but if you have a way to either keep your monsters on board for your next turn to come, or to be able to find a way to bring the monsters back from your grave when they get destroyed, that's actually not a bad ordeal. Second effect reads: during your main phase, except the turn this card was sent to the grave, you can banish the card from your grave, then target one of your banished Regenesis monsters, special summon it. Exactly what I was talking about. This basically just gives you extra bodies on board, which is pretty cool. Now for the last card, it is known as Regenesis Birth. Which is a continuous trap, and both of its effects are a hard once per turn. And the first effect reads: you can send one Regenesis monster from your deck to the grave, target a face-up monster your opponent controls, and change it to face-down defense. Second effect reads: during your opponent's turn, you can send this face-up card from your spell and trap zone to the grave. Special summon as many Regenesis monsters with different names as possible from your hand, grave, and or banishment, but send them to the grave during the end phase. This basically ensures that you get a board full of extra deck monsters, because if you're able to bring out a shit ton of extra deck monsters, then you have yourself a pretty cool way to get out, like maybe a big guy and a I would probably say, because that there are 2 level 7s and two level 8s, is it? Level 7, level 8. Yeah. So because that you have 2 level 7s and 2 level 8s, you can literally go big guy plus number 38, or you can do Draco Sack plus Or you can do Draco Sack plus, I don't know, I don't know, number 107 at best maybe. I mean, you've got so many cool ways to ensure that you get a decent board to where to try and stop your opponent from doing anything, which is not bad, but I think that this archetype definitely is in need of more cards at some point. Perhaps maybe give this archetype a rank 7, a rank 8, and potentially another maybe a field spell, and at best maybe another level 10 plus a rank 10, so that way you can use your rank 10 to basically stop your opponent from doing anything at all. Kind of similar to what kind of similar to what the Zodiac deck did with the VFD, True King of All Calamities, way back when. So kind of similar to that. Don't think it would be as powerful, but you can only hope, right? Anyway, that will do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want more card discussions in the future, then make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and as always, make sure you guys are following me on all of my social media. All of my ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.